Welcome back, America. I've invited Senator Tom Cotton on the program because he's uniquely qualified to discuss what's going on in the Middle East since he fought there. And Senator Cotton, I just want to ask you this. You know what the Iranian regime is capable of. You and your friends experienced it. Is this, what Biden has done with Iran, anything short of appeasement or even worse, the rearming of an enemy that is spreading terrorism, that wants nukes and basically wants to destroy the West?
Mark, what Joe Biden has done, and really what Barack Obama and Joe Biden both have done for almost 11 years now, is abject appeasement of Iran. And it's not because they're foolish or naive or inexperienced. It's their ideological commitment to elevate Iran, to atone for what they think are America's sins against Iran. The nuclear deal was just a part of that. The relaxing of sanctions is another big part of it. Barack Obama gave Iran hundreds of billions of dollars worth of sanctions relief. And since Joe Biden took office, he's given them tens of billions of dollars of sanctions relief. Not just the $6 billion ransom for hostages that he paid last month notoriously, but by not vigorously enforcing sanctions on oil exports, for instance. And of course, this money has helped fuel Iran's campaign of terror throughout the Middle East, supporting Hamas, supporting Hezbollah, targeting Americans. The atrocity that Hamas perpetrated on October 7th, Mark, was not just the worst slaughter of Jews since the concentration camps of World War II, it also killed 30 Americans, one of the worst terror attacks against America since 9/11. Iran was responsible for the deaths of hundreds of troops in Iraq and Afghanistan. The Secretary of Defense admitted to me under questioning earlier this year that Iran and its proxies have attacked Americans in the Middle East more than 80 times since Joe Biden took office, and we've only responded 4 times. So, of course, Joe Biden, just like Barack Obama, have engaged in 11 years of abject appeasement, always conciliating Iran and giving them one-sided concession. This is a regime that hates America and hates Israel, wants to destroy both of us. So they have seen that not as an opportunity to try to become a normal nation, which they don't want to be, but as a sign of American weakness. And unfortunately, I think the notes you're already starting to hear out of Democrats and even Joe Biden suggest more weakness to come.
You know, I see where these Biden-Obama policies have lit up the world all over the place. Our military is underfunded in order to deal with these challenges that now exist. Our border's wide open. I'm sick and tired of people saying, oh, he's standing up to the enemy. He gives these fantastic speeches. There's no distance between him and Israel. Of course there is. Of course there is. That's why Blinken was over there for almost a week. That's why Biden went over there. Obviously, it's not like they support the attacks on Israel. Of course not. And I honestly believe they're upset about the attacks on Israel. But there has to be accountability. You can't rearm the Iranians, rearm the Palestinian terrorists, and then pretend that somehow you have no responsibility for what took place, considering the prior administration did the opposite, and really there was peace breaking out in the Middle East. No?
Mark, that's absolutely right. Again, for 11 years, Barack Obama and Joe Biden have appeased Iran, and all we've gotten is the worst slaughter of Jews since World War II. Hundreds of dead Americans, hundreds of billions of dollars given to Iran to continue its campaign of terror throughout the region. So, yes, Joe Biden has said the right thing on occasion, but his actions speak louder than his words, and actions, especially in the Middle East, speak louder than words. This is not some customs dispute between, say, Switzerland and France. This is the Middle East. And the only thing understood in that dangerous part of the world is iron will and crushing force.
And look at his appointees. It's like the most pro-Iranian, anti-American, anti-Israel appointees if you were going to make a list. You're familiar with the man who was leading the United States delegation, the envoy he appointed to negotiate with Iran. Can you tell the American people a little bit about him and his 3 subordinates?
Mark, Rob Malley worked on the Obama campaign in 2008, and he got fired because he had ties to and meetings with, yes, Hamas officials. He's a well-known Iranian sympathizer. He helped craft the original nuclear deal in the Obama administration. He was immediately brought back by Joe Biden 3 years ago to get Iran back into the nuclear deal. He brought with him a group of Iranian influencers, people who have said they viewed their role in our government as to advocate for the Iranian position. Somehow these people got security clearances, and somehow they still have them today, that President Biden is allowing an Iranian influence network to continue to operate inside, for example, the Department of Defense. It's just another example of his actions projecting weakness to the Ayatollahs and encouraging and emboldening them to strike at America and our interests and our allies.
So despite his speech and his flowery words and all the rest of it, he not only does not have Israel's back, he doesn't have America's back, as far as I'm concerned. And when we get back, there's a matter in front of the United States Senate right now.